You were asking yesterday whether the level of consciousness has increased from the time of Buddha or not. I don't think that it has increased. You have more scientific knowledge, you have more information, you are more educated. But if you are following this same kind of stupid religions, if you are choosing when you are interested in your inner life this kind of religion, that means that the level of your consciousness has not grown at all. When you are better informed, when you are more educated, then you should be able to give up all these stupidities and imaginary things more easily. But you won't be able to give up because you don't have the insight, you don't have the intuition. Your consciousness has not grown according to the scientific growth, according to the information which you have, which is very easily available. So if your consciousness is not growing just by having all this information or having scientific knowledge, is not going to help you very much in being more conscious. And science has grown, technologies has grown, comforts of life has grown just because we have become more interested in outside things. We have become more extrovert. If you try to see in countries like India or China, I think the kind of spiritual environment, the kind of spiritual milieu they had, these countries had in past, you cannot find it now. Because all those civilization, it's not the right word to use, but all these barbaric people who came from outside, they could destroy a more civilized country. It is very easy to destroy a rose flower or a lotus. When you are stony, then it is difficult to destroy you. So if you see, there were so many schools in India, all these schools were called darshanas. Darshana is not philosophy, which is usually translated. Darshan means you have seen something. So whatever the people, when they went inside, whatever they found, they created a philosophy out of it, or better to say darshan out of it. And it was when you go inside, you have a particular type of conditioning, you have a particular kind of individuality. So you will see things little differently. But there was so much freedom that all those schools which has differences, many different types of darshanas. So, but they could coexist. Like both Buddhism and Jainism were silent about God. They didn't say anything about the existence of God. Jainism believed in Atma. It's not the right word to say that they believed. They came to know that there is Atma. But Buddha went even further. He rejected even Atma. He used the word Anatta. Hinduism believed in all these three: God, Atma, and even they have reached to that level, Anatta, but their word for it was God. the real word they used was Brahman. So they were reaching to same thing, but they emphasized different thing. All of them believed in past lives and karma. But there were other schools like Charvaka, they were totally atheistic, but they could coexist, all of them. So that shows the maturity of the consciousness, of the level of consciousness. But why it was slow? Because in these countries, they were in tune with nature. Nature was very abundant in these very friendly, you can say, in countries like India, or I don't know about China much, but when you are in tune with nature, then you will look inside. If you live in nature, and if you are little sensitive, you will turn in. There is no way out. You will go in. So, and if you are sensitive, you can see godliness in nature. When you are living in a world made by man, manufactured world, then your connection with nature and existence is broken. So once you have tasted the bliss of your inner world, then you are no longer very much interested in outside things. Because then they are temporary. They are important, but they are not that important as your inner beings. So, as far as consciousness is concerned, they had reached to higher level than what we have reached in the present time. You won't find people like Buddha or Krishna or Kabir or in the present time. There were hundreds of people like them. The level of consciousness which India and China achieved in the past is beyond our imagination, beyond our grasp. How a cult is created? When we start worshipping a person, then the cult is created, and then all kind of slavery and all kind of sickness and all kind of sin happens because of that. So when we use the word Osho, he should not be regarded as a person. He should be treated as existence. He should be treated as the part of the eternal laws of existence. If you see him as a person, then the cult is going to happen, which is already they are trying in many places to make a cult out of him. Or you create a religion out of him. So whenever you create a religion, and there are hundreds of religions, all these religions are not religion, because when it becomes different, they are all fighting among themselves. How these religions are created, and then they start becoming more and more, they deteriorate more and more. Because when the enlightened master is gone, then his truth is captured by unconscious people. They become its owner. They become his agents. And then they start mixing water in the milk and its purity is destroyed. So as long as you are not treating Osho as a person, then you are on the right path. The moment you start worshipping his physical form, making him into an idol, an image, you cannot go for long. In the beginning it is all right, but then you have to take it as a milestone. You should not stop there. It is just symbolic to go in. It's like a door to enter in. What Sikhs said, Gurudwara. Guru is just a door to enter in. Once you have entered in, then there is no difference between you and your master, because it is not something physical. Then you have come to know your own inner truth, and it is same for both of you. Osho is part of the eternal law of existence. Don't reduce him into a person.